I'm Ethan Cole, 25, and I've been holding my family together since I was old enough to know what a paycheck was. We're from a small town in West Virginia, 2025, where the opioid crisis and shuttered factories have left scars deeper than the coal mines ever did. My dad overdosed when I was 13, and Mom, Karen, checked out after that, lost in a haze of grief and cheap wine. I'm the oldest, with my brother Dylan, who's 19, and our twin sisters, Mia and Lily, just 16. I dropped out of community college to work construction, then picked up freelance coding gigs to keep the lights on and food in the fridge. Every cent I made went to the family: rent, groceries, Dylan's tuition at the local tech school. He was the golden boy, the one I bet everything on to break the cycle, to make something of the Cole name. This is the story of how I learned that love can be a one-way street, and how I found my own path when the people I carried turned their backs. It started in May 2025, when Dylan was set to graduate with an associate's degree in software engineering. I'd paid for his textbooks, his laptop, even the $200 certification exam fee, scraping together cash from late-night coding jobs and overtime at the construction site. I'd sold my old gaming console to cover his graduation cap and gown, took on extra shifts to pay for his bus pass to campus. But 2 days before the ceremony, I got a text from Mom, blunt as a hammer. "Ethan, Dylan's graduation only has limited seats. Me and Mia are going. Stay home. It's cleaner this way." Cleaner. The word hit like a punch, knocking the air out of me. I'd poured my life into getting Dylan that degree, and now my own family was telling me I didn't belong at the finish line. I sat on the sagging couch in our trailer, staring at the text, my phone screen dimming as the words burned into me. I didn't reply. I couldn't. What do you say when your own mother treats you like a smudge to be wiped away? I'd been the one to drive Dylan to his first day of class, to help him debug his code when he was failing Intro to Python, to cover the rent when Mom blew her disability check on lottery tickets. I'd given everything, and now I was too messy for their moment. I didn't cry, I don't do that, but I felt something snap, like a cable frayed too long. I got up, grabbed a beer from the fridge, and stood at the kitchen counter. The linoleum cracked under my boots. Outside, the neighbor's dog barked, and the wind rattled the trailer park's chain-link fence. It was a gray day, the kind that makes you feel like the world's forgotten you. I didn't confront Dylan when he got home, his earbuds in, scrolling TikTok, like nothing was wrong. I didn't ask Mom why she'd gone along with it. I just kept moving, pouring concrete at the site, debugging apps on my laptop, my hands and mind busy while my heart churned. The truth was uglier than the text. A week earlier, I'd overheard Dylan on a Discord call with his buddy Jake, talking about a job offer from a tech startup in Charleston. "The CEO, Mr. Brennan, says I've got potential," Dylan bragged, "but he's big on image. Doesn't want my brother around. Says Ethan's too blue-collar, too rough for the vibe." I'd been in the next room, fixing a leaky faucet, and the words sank into me like rust. Now, the text made it clear. They wanted Dylan to look like he belonged in a boardroom, and I was the callus they needed to sand off. The next morning, I cornered Mom in the kitchen, where she was nursing a mug of instant coffee. "Why didn't you push back?" I asked, my voice steady but tight. "Why let them cut me out?" She wouldn't look at me, just stirred her coffee, the spoon clinking against the mug. "Ethan, Dylan's got a shot at a real future. Don't mess it up for him. The Brennans, they're particular." Particular. That word was a blade, slicing through years of loyalty. I'd raised Dylan, taught him to tie his shoes, stayed up late helping him with math, paid for his dreams, while mine gathered dust. And now it was too particular to share his spotlight. I didn't argue. I just nodded and walked out to the truck, my work boots heavy on the gravel. That's when I started keeping a mental ledger. $300 for Dylan's laptop, $150 for textbooks, $200 for the cert exam, $50 for his gown. Every dollar I'd bled for, and not one invite to his big day. The days before the graduation were a grind. I poured foundations, coded landing pages, fixed the twins' Chromebook when it crashed. But the hurt grew roots, and with it came a clarity I'd never had. I'd been the one to keep this family afloat, paying the electric bill when Mom forgot, buying Mia's track shoes, sitting with Lily when her anxiety kept her up. I'd given my all, and they'd taken it like it was owed. The night before the ceremony, Mom texted again. Need $30 for gas to get to Dylan's thing. Can you Venmo it? I stared at the message, my thumb hovering over the screen. No, I typed back. I'm tapped out. I hit send and turned off my phone. She didn't reply, but I could imagine her shock. Ethan, the ATM, saying no? That was new. The morning of the graduation, I didn't go to work. I sat on the trailer's front steps, my tool belt slung over the railing, and watched the road as Mom, Mia, and Dylan piled into our beat-up Corolla. Dylan didn't look at me, but Mia did, her eyes wide, like she knew something was breaking. I nodded at her, but she just ducked her head and got in the car. I waited until the dust settled, then went inside and pulled an old shoebox from under my bed. I started writing down the ledger I'd kept in my head. $300 for the laptop, $150 for textbooks, $200 for the exam, $50 for the gown, $100 for bus passes, $500 for rent when Mom fell short. The list was long, and each line felt like a brick I was laying down, building a wall between me and the past. I didn't plan what came next. It wasn't anger. It was something colder, sharper, like the edge of a utility knife. I logged into the tech school's payment portal, where I'd set up Dylan's tuition plan. My name was still on the account, tied to the credit card I'd used for his fees. I called the bursar's office, spoke to a woman named Ms. Linda, who'd always been kind when I'd called about payments. Ms. Linda, I said, I need to remove my card from Dylan Cole's account. Any future charges, they're not on me. She paused, then said, You sure, Ethan? That's a big step. I nodded. Though she couldn't see me, I'm sure. She processed it, and just like that, I was done bankrolling Dylan's future. That evening, when the family got back, Dylan was clutching his diploma, his face stormy. Mom looked tired, Mia and Lily quiet. I was in the kitchen, heating up leftover mac and cheese, when Dylan rounded on me. Ms. Linda said you cut off my account. What the hell, Ethan? You trying to ruin me? I set the pan down, turned to face him. Ruin you? I paid for that diploma you're holding. I just ain't paying for a family that don't want me there. His mouth opened, then closed. Mom started, Ethan, you're being selfish, but I cut her off. Selfish? I've given you everything. If I'm too rough for the Brennans, I'm too rough for this trailer. My voice didn't shake. It didn't need to. The truth was louder than any shout. The next day, I packed a duffel bag. My clothes, my laptop, the shoebox. I left a post-it on the fridge for the twins. I love you both. I'll be around, but I need to live for me now. Call if you need me. I didn't write to Dylan or Mom. They'd made their choice. I drove my old F-150 to the bus station, bought a ticket to Pittsburgh with the $200 I'd saved from a freelance gig, and left West Virginia behind. The road stretched out, gray and endless, and with every mile, I felt the weight of my family lift, like shedding a coat that never fit right. In Pittsburgh, I found work at a startup doing QA testing, a gig I landed through a Reddit thread. The pay was decent, enough to rent a room in a shared house with a couple of other coders. I worked hard, learned fast, and started saving again, this time for me. I didn't check X for Dylan's posts, didn't call home. I let the silence grow, not out of spite, but because I needed to hear my own thoughts for once. One night, over beers with my housemate Alex, I told him the story. He listened, then said, "Family's not who you're stuck with, it's who you choose to keep." That stuck with me, like a line of code that finally runs clean. A few months later, Mia DM'd me on Signal, her message short but heavy. "Ethan, Dylan's working for Brennan, but he's miserable. Mom's drinking more, Lily's struggling. I'm sorry we didn't fight for you, I miss you." I read it on my lunch break, my throat tight but my eyes clear. I didn't reply right away. I saved the message, tucked it away like a bookmark in a book I wasn't ready to finish. Forgiveness wasn't there yet, but I didn't hate them. I just didn't owe them anymore. Life in Pittsburgh took root slow but solid. I met a woman named Zoe, a graphic designer with a sharp wit and a smile that cut through my walls. She didn't need me to fix her, and I didn't need her to fix me. But we built something real. Coffee dates, late-night talks, plans for a road trip to the Smokies. When I told her about Dylan, she listened, then said, "You didn't just save him, Ethan. You saved yourself." She was right. I'd been so busy being the provider, I'd forgotten how to be a man. With Zoe, I remembered. A year later, Lily showed up at my doorstep, 17 now, her backpack slung over one shoulder. "I left," she said. "Dylan's a Brennan clone, and Mom's a ghost. Mia's okay, but I needed you." I hugged her, brought her inside, set her up on the couch. She's staying with me now, taking online classes, helping with my coding projects. We don't talk about Dylan much, but we talk about everything else: movies, music, the future. Lily's my family now, not just because of blood, but because she chose me, and I chose her. Here's what I know, and I'm telling you straight. Love that demands you erase yourself isn't love. It's a transaction. I thought my worth was in what I gave. My money, my time, my heart. But family that only takes, that only sees your wallet and not your soul, isn't family. It's a weight you don't have to carry. I didn't burn that weight. I set it down, walked away, built a life that's mine. If you're holding up a family that doesn't see you, let go. Not to hurt them, but to save yourself. Have you ever had to walk away from the ones you love to find your peace? Or are you still there, wondering if you're enough? Tell me your truth. It's the only thing that'll set you free. The days after I settled in Pittsburgh blurred into a rhythm I hadn't known since I was a kid. Work, sleep, and the quiet thrill of a life that was mine alone. The startup I'd joined, a scrappy outfit called Codehaven, was building an app for small businesses, and my QA testing kept me busy, hunting bugs in the code like I used to track deer in the West Virginia hills. The pay wasn't much, but it was steady, and for the first time, I wasn't funneling every dollar into someone else's dreams. I'd open my banking app and see a balance that didn't vanish by the end of the month. That was new. That was freedom. But freedom don't mean the past stays buried. It's more like a shadow that shifts with the light, sometimes faint, sometimes sharp. I'd be debugging a login screen, and Dylan's face would flash in my mind. Not the proud graduate, but the kid I taught to ride a bike, his laugh high and fearless. Or I'd hear Mom's voice, not the slurred one from the trailer, but the one from years ago, singing hymns while she hung laundry. The twins, Mia and Lily, were the hardest to shake. I'd see a pair of sneakers in a shop window and wonder if Mia still ran track. Or I'd pass a girl with Lily's shy smile and feel a pang for the sister I'd left behind. I didn't call them. I didn't check X or Instagram. I deleted those apps, scrubbed my digital footprint clean, but the silence I'd chosen wasn't peace. It was a wall, and I was still learning how to live behind it. One evening, about 3 months after I'd left, I was at a dive bar with Zoe and Alex, my housemate. The place was all sticky tables and neon signs, the jukebox playing Springsteen. Zoe was telling a story about a client who'd wanted a logo that screamed blockchain, but also Zen, and Alex was laughing so hard he nearly spilled his beer. I was half listening, my mind drifting, when my phone buzzed in my pocket. I ignored it at first. Spam calls were common, but it buzzed again, insistent. I pulled it out, saw an unknown number with a West Virginia area code. My gut tightened. I stepped outside, the Pittsburgh air cool and sharp, and answered. "Hello? Ethan?" It was Mia, her voice small but steady. "Don't hang up, please." I leaned against the bar's brick wall, the neon glow painting my boots red. "I'm here," I said. She took a breath, like she was steeling herself. "I know you're mad and I don't blame you. What we did, me, Dylan, Mom, it was wrong. I should have fought for you at the graduation. I was scared and I let you down." Her words were a knife. Not because they hurt, but because they were true. I stayed quiet, letting her go on. "Dylan's working for Brennan now, but he's not happy. He's all suits and stress and he fights with Mom all the time. Lily's not eating right, says she misses you. And Mom, she's worse. Ethan, I found pills in her purse, not the prescription kind. I don't know what to do." I closed my eyes, the bar's hum fading behind me. I could see the trailer. Mom passed out on the couch, Lily curled up in her room, Dylan slamming doors, and Mia, barely 16, trying to hold it together. "Why are you telling me this, Mia?" I asked, my voice low. "Because you're the only one who ever fixed things," she said, and I heard her choke back a sob. "I know we don't deserve it, but I need you. Lily needs you." I opened my eyes, stared at the streetlights blurring in the fog. "I can't be your fix anymore," I said. "I gave everything and you all chose to shut me out. I'm building something here, Mia, for me." She was quiet for a long moment, then whispered, "I know. I had to try." The call ended, and I stood there, the phone heavy in my hand. I didn't feel angry, didn't feel sad. I felt done. Back inside, Zoe saw my face and slid her chair closer. "You okay?" she asked, her hand brushing mine. I nodded, took a sip of my beer, and told her about the call. She listened, her eyes steady, then said, "You don't owe them, Ethan. But you don't have to hate them either. You can just let them be." That hit me hard, like a line of code that suddenly makes the program run. I didn't have to carry them, didn't have to burn them. I could just let them go. The next week, I got an email from Code Haven's lead developer, Priya. She'd seen my side project, a script I'd written to automate bug tracking, and wanted me to join the dev team, not just QA. It came with a raise, $10K more a year, and a chance to code full-time. I said yes, and for the first time, I felt like I was building something for myself, not just patching someone else's leaks. I celebrated with Zoe at a food truck festival, her laughing as we shared a plate of tacos under string lights. "You're gonna be a tech bro now," she teased, and I grinned, feeling lighter than I had in years. But the past doesn't let go easy. A month later, I got a package in the mail, no return address, just my name in shaky handwriting. Inside was a USB drive and a note. "Ethan, you deserve to know, Jake." Jake was Dylan's friend, the one I'd overheard on that Discord call. I plugged the drive into my laptop, my stomach nodding. It was a folder of screenshots, texts from a group chat I wasn't in, one with Dylan, Mom, and some guy named Tyler, who I figured was Brennan's son. The messages were a gut punch. "Dylan, Ethan'll pay for the cert if I push hard enough. Just say it's urgent. Mom, he's always been soft like that. Use it. Tyler, just keep him out of the office. My dad says he's bad for the brand. And the worst, from Dylan. He's my brother, but he's nobody to them. Let's keep it that way. The note from Jake was simple. Found these when Dylan left his laptop open. Thought you should see. I sat there, staring at the screen, my hands steady, but my chest tight. They hadn't just excluded me. They planned it. Milked me for every dollar, every ounce of trust. I didn't cry, didn't rage. I copied the files to my encrypted drive, labeled the folder proof, and shut my laptop. Then I called Jake. He picked up on the second ring, his voice nervous. You get it? He asked. Yeah, I said. Why'd you send it? He sighed. Dylan's my friend, but what he did to you, it's not right. You were good to him, Ethan. Always were. I thanked him, hung up, and sat in the dark, the city's hum outside my window. The screenshots weren't just evidence, they were a mirror, showing me the family I'd loved didn't love me back. Not the way I'd thought. I didn't confront Dylan. Instead, I emailed Priya, asked if I could take on a bigger project, something to sink my teeth into. She gave me a feature to build, a user dashboard for the app, and I threw myself into it, coding late into the night, the work a lifeline. Zoe noticed the change, the way I'd go quiet sometimes, and one night, as we watched a movie on her couch, she paused it and turned to me. You're carrying something heavy again, she said. Talk to me. So I did. I showed her the screenshots, told her about Mia's call, the weight of it all. She didn't offer fixes, just listened, then said, You're not their ATM, Ethan. You're not their anything. You're you. And that's enough. I kissed her then, not out of passion, but gratitude, for seeing me when I was still learning to see myself. The turning point came in December 2025, when Lily showed up at my door, 17 now, her backpack stuffed with clothes and a notebook full of sketches. I'm done, she said, her voice shaking, but firm. Dylan's a jerk, Mom's a mess, and Mia's trying, but I can't stay there. I want to be with you. I let her in, made her a cup of tea, and listened as she spilled it all. Dylan's fights with Brennan, Mom's relapses, Mia's struggle to keep the twins fed. Lily had run away, taken a bus with money she'd saved from babysitting. I didn't send her back. I enrolled her in a Pittsburgh high school, set up a cot in my room, and got her a part-time job at a coffee shop near Code Haven. She's family, not because I owe her, but because she chose me, and I chose her. I heard from Mia again in January, a voice message this time. Ethan, Dylan got fired. Brennan caught him fudging hours. He's back home, and it's bad. I'm sorry for everything. I'm trying to get out, go to college. Can we talk? I saved the message but didn't call back. I wasn't ready. Maybe I will be someday, but not yet. Mom sent an email a week later, subject, please. It was short. Ethan, I messed up. We all did. Come home. I read it, then archived it. Home wasn't a trailer in West Virginia anymore. It was here, in Pittsburgh, with Lily's sketches on the fridge, Zoe's laugh in my ear, and a job that felt like a future. I'm still building that future, line by line, like code that's starting to run clean. Zoe and I are planning to move in together next year, maybe start a freelance design coding duo. Lily's talking about art school, and I'm saving to help her get there. The ledger I started in that shoebox is still there, but I don't add to it anymore. It's not about the money, it's about the truth it held, the truth that set me free. I don't hate my family, don't wish them ill. I just don't owe them my life. I've learned that love isn't what you give away, it's what you build, with people who see you, who choose you back. If you're out there, carrying a family that doesn't carry you, put it down. Not to break them, but to save yourself. Have you ever had to walk away to find your peace? Or are you still holding on, hoping they'll see you. Tell me your story. It's the only way we find our way forward. The Pittsburgh winter of 2026 was brutal, the kind that turned your breath to frost and made the city's steel bones groan under snow. I'd been in my new life for almost a year, building something solid with Zoe, Lily, and my work at Toadhaven. The startup had grown, and so had I. Priya promoted me to junior developer, and I was coding features that thousands of users saw daily. My hands, once rough from construction, now danced across a keyboard, shaping a future I'd never dared dream of back in West Virginia. Lily was thriving, her sketches turning into digital art she sold on Etsy, and Zoe and I had just signed a lease on a small apartment in Shadyside, our first real home together. But the past, like a stubborn weed, kept pushing through the cracks of my present. It started with a letter, not an email or a text, but actual paper, delivered to my new address in March. The handwriting was Mia's, careful and slanted, like she'd taken her time. I found it in the mailbox after a long day at work, the envelope worn from its journey. I didn't open it right away. I set it on the kitchen counter, next to Lily's latest drawing of a Pittsburgh skyline, and poured myself a coffee. Zoe noticed my hesitation when she got home, her eyes flicking to the envelope. "You gonna read it?" she asked, tossing her scarf on the couch. I shrugged, but her look, gentle but firm, pushed me to pick it up. "Might as well," I said, slicing it open with a butter knife. Inside was a single page, and a photo fell out. A Polaroid of Mia at what looked like a college campus, her hair pulled back, a shy smile on her face. The letter read, "Ethan, I'm at WVU now, studying nursing. I got a scholarship, so I'm not asking for anything. I just need you to know I'm sorry. Not just for the graduation, but for all of it. Letting you carry us, letting Dylan and Mom treat you like a means to an end. I was too scared to speak up then, but I'm not anymore. Dylan's back in town, working at a gas station. He's quieter now, like he's figuring out who he is without Brennan's shadow. Mom's in rehab, her third try. Lily told me you're happy, and I'm glad. I don't expect you to write back, but I needed to say this. You were the best of us, and we didn't deserve you. Thank you for everything, Mia." I read it twice, the Polaroid in my hand, Mia's smile both familiar and foreign. Lily, who'd been sketching at the table, looked up. "What's it say?" she asked. I handed her the letter, let her read it while I stared out the window at the snow piling on the fire escape. The words didn't erase the hurt, but they softened it, like a bruise fading. Zoe joined us, read the letter too, then squeezed my shoulder. "She's trying," she said. "Doesn't mean you have to jump back in, but it's something." I nodded, not trusting my voice. That night I didn't reply, but I taped the Polaroid to the fridge, next to Lily's art. A small step, but mine. A week later, I got a call from an unknown number. I almost let it go to voicemail, but something made me answer. It was Dylan, his voice rough, like he hadn't slept. "Ethan, it's me," he said. "I know you don't owe me a damn thing, but I need to say this. I screwed up. I thought Brennan's world was my ticket out, thought I had to cut you out to fit in. I was wrong. You paid for everything, my degree, my life, and I threw it in your face. I'm sorry, I'm not asking you to fix me. I needed you to know." I stood in my bedroom, the phone pressed to my ear, the city quiet outside. I didn't feel the old anger, just a tired kind of clarity. "I hear you," I said. "But apologies don't undo what's done. You gotta live with that, same as I do." He was quiet, then said, "I know." We hung up, and I didn't block his number. That was enough for now. The real turning point came in June, when Codehaven landed a big contract with a national retailer. Priya threw a party at the office, all pizza and craft beer, and announced bonuses for the team. Mine was $5,000, more money than I'd ever seen at once. I didn't spend it on rent or bills. Instead, I took Zoe and Lily to a community art center downtown, where we signed Lily up for a summer workshop. The rest went into a savings account for her college fund. That night, over dinner at a burger joint, Lily raised her milkshake and said, "To Ethan, the best brother ever." Zoe clinked her glass, grinning, and I laughed, the sound freer than I'd heard in years. I wasn't just surviving anymore, I was living. But the past needed one last reckoning. In August, I drove back to West Virginia, Lily in the passenger seat, Zoe navigating from the back. Mom was out of rehab, living in a halfway house in Morgantown. Mia had texted me the address, saying Mom wanted to see me. I didn't go for her, I went for me, to close the loop. The house was plain, with peeling paint and a small garden out front. Mom looked older, her hair gray, her hands shaky but sober. She didn't hug me, just nodded and said, "You look good, Ethan." We sat on plastic chairs in the common room, Lily and Zoe waiting in the car. "I wasn't a mother to you," she said, her voice low. "I let you carry us, and I let them push you out. I'm sorry." I looked at her, saw the woman who'd sung to me as a kid, and the one who'd texted me to stay home. "I needed you to be my mom," I said, "but I don't anymore. I forgive you, but I'm not coming back." She nodded, tears in her eyes, and I left, the door clicking shut behind me. On the drive back, Lily played her playlist, Zoe sang off-key, and I felt a peace I hadn't known was possible. I'd carried my family for years, thinking love meant giving until I was empty. But love isn't a debt you pay with your soul. It's a choice, a mutual building of something real. I chose Zoe, who saw me whole, Lily, who chose me back, and myself, the man I was becoming. Dylan, Mia, Mom, they were part of my story, but not its end. I'd built a new family, not of blood, but of truth. And that was enough. Here's the lesson, and I hope it sticks with you. Love doesn't demand you disappear. It asks you to show up, flaws and all, and be met halfway. I thought my worth was in what I gave, money, time, heart, but real love gives back, lifts you up, sees you as you are. If you're pouring yourself into people who only take, stop, not to punish them, but to honor yourself. Build a life with those who choose you, who carry you as you carry them. Have you ever had to let go to find yourself? Or are you still giving, hoping they'll turn around? Your truth is your power. Speak it, live it, and let it lead you home.